psychological distress. Okay? And anyway, I said, we can't sell. We'll reduce the number. By the way, the building is incredible. It's an incredible building. It's not like it's a defective building, because if it was, that's a different ballgame. But I build good. What I really know, and I'll build the greatest wall you've ever seen. I built it. So the woman wants far more than even the cost of, for what? For psychological distress. Okay? And anyway, I said, we can't settle this. Now, for me to go to Chicago for 2 days, I was a witness for like a full day and more than that. That's a big deal. She knew everything. All of the things she didn't know about, they wrote a letter asking for these things before she closed. And then she closed when we said, no, we're not going to give you any of those things. And then she used that. It was unbelievable. The press was devastated when I won unanimously in a jury trial. I had a very fair judge. Although I thought it should have been thrown out on summary judgment, to be totally honest with you. But I won the case. The point is, when you're known as a settler, you're known as a patsy. Do you know what patsy is, right? Now, if we would have had that thinking, because it's a mindset. And I'm not sure if you're born with that mindset, if you develop it. You can certainly develop it to an extent. But it's no different than Michael Jordan was a great player when he first laced up his shoes, right? I mean, he was good. They were talking about a certain golfer. Nobody remembers this, but he was an older golfer. And his name was Julius Boros. And he won the U.S. Open maybe once or twice. He won the U.S. Amateur. Anybody hear of Julius Boros? He had that slow, beautiful swing. Slow, beautiful. And he didn't start playing golf until he was like 23 years old. And he was an accountant in Westchester, an accountant. And he'd go with his friends to the driving range for lunch. And his friends would hit balls, and then he'd go and leave. He'd never hit because he didn't play golf. And they kept saying, Julius, hit balls, Julius, hit balls. He wouldn't do it. Then after about 3 or 4 days, he said, okay, I'll hit some. In one day, in one little lunch, he was better than all of those guys. It's called talent. He was better than all of them. And he won the U.S. Amateur like a year and a half later. You guys know what I'm talking about. He won the U.S. Amateur a year and a half later, and then he became a pro. He won the U.S. Open. I mean, he's a great golfer. But there's a certain natural ability that people have, no different in business. There are people in here that are phenomenal business people. And there are people that can get better, and there are some people that can't even get better. Do we agree, fellas? There's some people they won't. Okay? They're not going to get better. But we have negotiators for us that are people that really are not natural. They're not good. I don't even know if they want to get better. I don't know what the purpose of these deals are, but we need help in this country. And I can tell you this, if I win, this country, good, thank you, this country will be so strong and so rich. We have such potential. We have all the cards. People say, oh, but China, they make this, they have us. You know, we owe China $1.4 trillion. Think of it. You know, we owe 1.9 now trillion. 1.9 trillion. Nobody even knows what a trillion is. Does anybody know what a trillion is? Add it up. How many hundreds of millions is a trillion? No, think of it. Most people don't even know what it is. This was a name 10 years ago. You never even heard the word trillion. Now it's like commonplace. But China, Japan, Mexico is becoming the new China. They are taking our bit. Nabisco's moving into Mexico now. I'm not eating Oreos anymore, believe me. Ford, or many of the car companies are going in. But that's not going to happen with me. We're going to have a great relationship with Mexico. But that's not going to happen with me. We're going to have fair. I want the jobs here. But think of it. So China, it's impossible for us to do business with them. As per the article, Boeing is going to get an order, but they're going to build a plant. And I guarantee you, China said, we're going to order planes, but for us to do that, we want you to build a massive plant. Well, what the hell good does that do us? That means that in a few years, they're going to be making the planes in China like they're making everything else. We've got to put a stop to it. We've got to put a stop to it. So, if and when, I'll say if and when. Because, you know, if I say when, you got all those cameras back there. If I say when, they're going to say, he's so arrogant. He's so arrogant. I'll tell you another funny poll. I'll tell you another funny poll story. The other day, a number of polls came out. And they came out And they were all good. Let's see. CNN was good. It was 24%. NBC was 29, almost 30%. Then you had Zogby, which was, I think, 32 or 33%. And you had another one at 32 or 33%. They're all like really high, killing everybody. Now, in CNN, I was beating everybody pretty badly. But that's the only poll they showed. They didn't show the other ones. I said, I wonder why, right? So we're fighting, there's a whole big thing going on. We're fighting something that's very, very unique. But so I'm going to say, if and when I win, this country is going to be so strong. It's going to be so rich. We're going to have so many jobs. You have to understand that our blood is being drained out of us by other countries with their devaluation of the currencies. They're draining us. You know, we make product better than China. If you look at our furniture, well, you know, from South Carolina, from North Carolina, you know the great furniture. If you look at our furniture, if you look at all of our, we do better. We do better than, it's better quality. I have a friend, he just ordered a massive amount of furniture from China. He's going crazy in a hotel. People sit in the chair and the chair breaks. It's like, they go down for the count. But they devalue their currency and they make it impossible for our companies to compete. And we can't let that happen. We can't let it happen. When Japan sells us thousands and thousands of cars, millions of cars, and they come in, I was in Los Angeles a few weeks ago, biggest ships I've ever seen, biggest I've ever seen. And they're floating in cars. We sell them beef. And then when the beef gets there, they don't want it. Now, you tell me about beef that's sitting there back and forth for a couple of months. I don't want it. Maybe that's why they call it Kobe beef. It's aged. You know, maybe. No, it's aged beef. And they charge more money for it. But, no, think of it. We sell them beef and things like that. But it's a tiny fraction compared. And then we have a trade deficit of the kind of money that I went over. And when we have the proper negotiators, and I know the best in the world, they're all calling me. You got to give me a couple of names. I want a couple of really good African-American negotiators. Stand up. Do you want to do it a little bit? I'll take you right now. I'll take you right now. I love that. And you have some great negotiators. I know that. But I have guys call me the biggest people in business. Because, you know, nobody thought I was going to run. They said, why would he run? He's got this wonderful family, wonderful company. Why would he run? Why would he put himself through this? And I'm actually asking that question myself. But why would he do it? And nobody thought I was going to run. And they weren't even polling me. They weren't putting me in polls. And my wife said, you know, if you run, you know you're going to win. She's actually very smart. No, it's true. Because I see the way people react. But if they poll you before you announce, you're never going to get anything because, frankly, nobody believes you're going to win no matter what. Nobody believes. And it doesn't matter if you say, I'm running, I'm telling you. If they say Donald Trump is running, will you? They're saying he's not running. But she said, you know, if you actually announce, you're going to win. I said, all right. Now, a few people told me that. But my wife said it very strongly because she's with me and we go out and we have a lot of fun and people go sort of crazy because they want help. They want to see this country be strong and they want it run by smart people. They want it run by smart people. So I announced and immediately, in fact, some people still didn't put me in the poll. They said, well, he's just doing this to build up his brand, build up my brand. Macy's canceled me because they thought I was too tough. Macy's, they were very loyal. You know, one of my best friends was the head of Macy's. Donald, I hear we're going to have pickets in the front of Macy's. Oh, that's a horrible thing. Could I cancel your ties? I said, cancel them. They're made in China. Who the hell cares? True. True. Now, Macy's, I will tell you, Macy's was very disloyal. And, you know, a number of others. I mean, I had to sue, as you know, Univision. Which suit is pending, which suit I will win a lot of money. They broke a contract. They never even sent me a letter for the Miss Universe pageant. And as you know, I sold Miss Universe recently to IMG. I'm very happy with that deal. I mean, it was a great deal, and wonderful people. And I bought NBC out, and I sold, and it was great. But, you know, we need the kind of people that will never let us down. They never. Wonderful people. And I bought NBC out, and I sold, and it was great. But, you know, we need the kind of people that will never let us down. They never. And if they're going to let us down, we want to know it beforehand. But what's happening is I'm getting calls from all of these the biggest people in this country. And they're the best negotiators in the world. You know, we have the best people. Our government doesn't let them act. You know, we have Carolyn Kennedy representing us against Japan, okay? And, you know, she's a nice person. You know why? I've told this before because my daughter likes her. Ivanka likes her. And I like Ivanka. Do we all like Ivanka? I love Ivanka. But she says she's a very nice person, Dad. I said, I don't care about a nice person. I don't want nice people. I want bad. I don't care who they are. I just want great. They can be nice. They can be horrible. I want great negotiators. And we're going to have the best negotiators. But the biggest people and the best negotiators, people that have made a fortune, are calling me, Donald, I'd like to help. I want to help you. They see that they think I'm going to win. Otherwise, they wouldn't waste their dime. Believe me, right? Believe me, right? If they thought I'm what, they're not calling. They're not wasting any time. But I've got guys that are so good that when I put one in charge of China, one in charge of Japan, I'll handle Ford. Oh, that was such an easy one. You all know that, sir. I'm not going to tell you, but that's too easy. That'll only take a few hours. I just have to wait for the call back saying, we'll move back to the United States, Mr. President. Mr. President, we're moving back to the United States. But the only one I heard clapping was my son, Eric Trump. You know that? It's true. I gave these great zingers, and Jeb does this stuff, and the people clap because it's, you know, very establishment in the Reagan. Look, I think Ronald Reagan liked me a lot more than he liked a lot of people. He really did like me. But that was very establishment. So what happens is Jeb, it's not going to happen. It's not his thing. And he's a nice person. Honestly, it's not Hillary's thing. It's not Hillary. It's not Marco Rubio's thing. I mean, Marco Rubio, as an example, he's got no money, zero. Now, I think that's okay. It's fine. Maybe it's good politically to say you owe money because you overborrowed in your credit cards. Got nothing. I mean, he's got nothing. Maybe he should, like, practice. You know, he goes to the Senate, and then he wants to say, let's go, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to run against my mentor. And I'll tell you one thing. Jeb was the mentor for Marco Rubio, right? You've heard that. And everybody said, well, Marco will never run because Jeb Bush, who was the governor then, even though I'm killing him here, Jeb Bush was the governor, and Marco will never run because of respect for his mentor. And I figured the same thing because I'm a very loyal person. I wouldn't have done it ever. I think it's very disloyal. So Jeb Bush was this mentor. And I'm saying, well, he's not going to run because, and everybody's saying that. He announced he's going to run because he's overly ambitious, too young, and I have better hair than he does, right? Do we agree? Do I have better hair than he does? And there's an age gap. There's an age gap. But I say that, and this is what bothers me about politicians. So he announces he's going to run. And they go to Jeb. What do you think of Marco Rubio? He's my dear, dear friend. He's wonderful. He's a wonderful person. I'm so happy that he's running. Give me a break. That's called politicians speak. Then they go to Marco. What do you think of Jeb Bush? Oh, he's great. He's brought me along. He's one. They hate each other, but they can't say it. They hate each other. It really does bother me when I see them and I see Jeb, and maybe that's what you want, and maybe that's the kind of people that are going to get elected, to be honest. Maybe they don't want a straight talker. Maybe they don't. No, maybe they don't. But I am so tired of this politically correct crap. Just tired of it. So we're going to go out. We're going to fight hard. I'm not taking money, as I said before. And I am going to win, and we're going to turn our great country around, and we are going to do something. We are going to do something that maybe has never been done before. But we're going to turn it around. We're going to make it great again. You're going to be so proud that you were in this room. And now I better get back on that plane and get the hell out of here, because I have other people from South Carolina that are waiting for me. But I appreciate it, and I really do. It was a quickie, and I love you all, and we're going to do it. And thank you to the Chamber. I appreciate it, fellas. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.